thought about doing a theme song where I like play guitar and sing at the beginning of Noise with Ivan or something like that, like have like a fun little intro, but it's a noise show, so you have to start it out with noise. My subject, it's just good planning if you have a subject for each edition, which is it's kind of based on physicals today. It's not I was going to stop doing anything about physicals, but and just do all review, which I think is more interesting probably in the regard to me having something to talk about. Um and spending money so I don't have to have five or six new things to show every episode. Um and it's also easier to listen to music on my computer. But I did want to go through my DVD cases because I was just listening to some things and kind of remembered all the stuff that is in DVD cases, and I just thought I'd show it because I haven't shown everything. Most of it, though, I have. This is a split I got from uh Flugazi when I did a like bulk order from Flugazi for I don't know, I think it was the second time. Fernando threw this in. It was like after the fact, like at the last minute, he kind of threw it in. It's a split, so, but it's on and off. It's 70 tracks, 70. I did say 70, and they go they volley. It's not like a split. Yeah. Rhabdomyosarcoma. I feel so bad about mispronouncing stuff, but most of the time you read stuff. We're not well documented people on YouTube anyway. It reminds me I was listening to some of the White Centipede podcasts that they are doing now because I don't think that I think Noise Extra was a White Centipede thing, but I used to listen to Noise Extra all the time, and that was like you wanted a noise podcast, that was a good noise podcast. That was really great. And Breathing Problem had a podcast. I won't say it was an interesting podcast, but it wasn't necessarily going to be about noise. They would just talk on there. Which it made it interesting. And I think the idea was that there were plenty of noise podcasts going on, but and I don't know if that's what this is. I have been back and forth on whether I should set this as a YouTube podcast or not. But it is just me here talking, which is a pretty crazy thing. I have so much anxiety about whether or not it's enjoyable to listen to just me talking. Um, but it's just a quick talking about a couple things that are coming out. By the way, a couple things are coming out. Just in case I have to talk about something. It's a quick talking about noise and giving some recommendations. Every week it's not a podcast, but it is kind of insane to talk to yourself or a camera. I don't know which one it is, but it's real weird. There's a new Contrite Heart out. It should be out by the time this comes out. I think it's coming out Sunday. So as Shremo told me, that is coming out. It's kind of it's called Let Me Tremble at the Gates of Your Mercy. I have all the CDs done. I should have brought a CD out here. Because I did bring physical media out here. It's very much I was making walls. Um it's not completely consistent. It's like one track and a few different walls. It's a developing wall, if you will. But it goes from thing to thing. But it's not that it's not going to be consistent listening. I think I'll stay on the same wall for with no not much variation anyway for a good 8 minutes and then go to the next thing. I'm not going for very long on these Contrite Heart releases, or on what I'm doing now, which there may or may not be more things coming out from me. We haven't done a CD in a while either, so that'll be a CD that you can grab. I might put a picture here, because I know it's ready on Bandcamp. Yeah, this is another. These are all DVD cases, CDs and DVD cases that I'm going through. This is from False Hope. Uh, this was one of the first labels I knew about, or even thought about submitting to. Roman Shower told me, I put up a story about labels, and Roman Shower texted me, and that's how I started working with Roman Shower. He said, you should talk to False Hope. And then I never really heard back from False Hope. I reached out, and I reached out to False Hope to do trades. I bought this from False Hope and got it, but I reached out for trades, and they're like, yes. I think he responded to a story. He was like, I would love to trade, but we never did. I never really heard back from him. Some of these guys get very busy, you know. There are some people that are very hyper and do a lot, you know, and do things right as they come along. And there are some people that are ambitious and do a lot, but 56K, if you watch the early episodes of this show, oh my goodness, I was absolutely in love with 56K, the Nothing to See Here compilation, and I tried to review everything that was on. Like I went into deep dives on each artist on the 56K compilation. And this one stinks because it has a little 3-inch that goes with it, and I can't really get that to stay in here. And it's in my 3-inch collection. It's just a 3-inch that says 3 on it. It's just like these, but it's a 3-inch. I wish there was just a way that it could be in there. It's hard enough to get this in here. But yeah, I remember Bunny. Trail of Ghosts was obviously a big deal. Trail of Ghosts was on that one label. A fraction of X86. Yeah, there was a lot of big deal artists on that. A lot of people that went on to do a lot more. Angel of the Enemy is the reason I was a fan of. Was on this um collection. And he was the reason that I was a fan of this label. Um, and we did a split together, obviously, at that time when I started this. Um, and here we go. This is what I was just listening to. Um, the Kubatu Asparagus. I don't remember what the name of this is. It doesn't say it on here. By the collar, yanked by the collar, and it has two of these. Yeah, that's nuts. It looks like a record a little bit because it has those grooves in it. We're not here for video quality. Another reason I don't really do physicals on this show very much anymore. Um, and yeah, I was super interested in the whole. Oh yeah, something by the collar. Shoot. Yeah, I was super into this because I did in little Blu-ray sleeves releases. So they're just a little bit taller and wider, a little bit wider, quite a bit taller than a regular sleeve CD like this. But yeah, I did a trade with Kubatu Asparagus, and I wanted to make a big video with all the trades, but I've had several trades that never came in. I was listening to his stuff, and that's a very solid classic wall. They're both very solid classic walls. Um, and I really love the actress series. He has like a series with these actresses. Denise Richards was one. That was a very, very good one. But there's another, the girl from Breakfast Club, that I also really liked. He releases so much stuff. And he's another physical, like if you like the sleeve CDRs that I put out, or that None of the Flesh puts out, the two labels that I know of is No Skinny Jeans, the Kubatu Asparagus label, and my own. But he does a lot of physical releases, and he has a big cartel where you can just grab, a collection of them, like a lot, buy a full lot of them, instead of picking out individual ones. I wish he had the if you I don't know if he watches this or not, but I wish he had the where you can buy the full discography on his full discography on Bandcamp, because I really love buying those, and there's a lot of labels that I've bought from that he is on, so I have a lot of his stuff on Bandcamp. But I mean, he's got so many walls, and I listen to so many walls. There's a Margot Robbie one. I never heard that one. I've gone past a few. There's a few good ones. He has Bruxism I don't really know what that word is, but bruxism sex and janky funeral is his kind of harsh noise. Bruxism sex is like developing noise walls. It's not like chaotic harsh noise, but it's not. It's also it's developing noise walls, but I wouldn't call it noise walls at all, really. It's just slow developing music. Those are very, very good. Kubatu Asparagus is gonna be my Pamela Bardot. I don't know who that is. The actress series is good in general. Um, yeah, I have a few of the CDs that I've gotten from him, and I thought I would prance through those real quick. This is a split with Endometrium Cunt Plow. And unfortunately, he releases the JQ Funeral ones as 3 inches. Any of the stuff I've gotten from him has been placed on the Instagram page. I don't know if I'll get in trouble for showing these things. There's nothing really. He is very erotic themes, but there's usually nothing that's explicit to a um like a censorship to where it needs censorship. And a lot of war themed stuff too. And kind of religious themes for him. If you look at my collection, when I look at my collection, there is some erotic themed stuff from him, but then it's kind of even. But when you go on his Bandcamp, which I've been on a little bit today, you're like, oh yeah, that's a lot of mostly erotic stuff. Either erotic or it's of the actress series. And yeah, the actress series is really good. I wish I remember the name of the one that I liked, but the pink lady from Breakfast Club. I'll Google it. Pinniped has been a big reading, studying listen for me. Pinniped is very super soft, a lot of field recordings, and everything's got like a seal theme. There's seals. Is that animal? Or maybe it's a different animal. Walruses, something like that. Um, Gotta love those. Ushina Warita Tamashi. I was in love with this artist because of the wide covers. Their YouTube, I believe anyway, released on YouTube. If you want to listen to them, they're on YouTube. You listen to them on YouTube. It's a YouTube album. It's put on YouTube. It's just music with a cover, so it's an album, but it looks like this ratio that you see here. Um, and it doesn't need to be anything else, which is so cool. Like we're all like, "Oh, I've dreamed my whole life of having a square album cover." But I think that there are so many things that we insist upon because of the grounds of, like, I insist upon releases being this way because I loved the 7-inch vinyl. I loved collecting 7-inch vinyl when I was a kid, and this is how I feel small budget releases should be. You flip through them and they have the folded cover. These might not have folded covers. Yep, it does have the folded cover. Good. It has a folded cover and a CDR in it. It's so similar to the 7 inches that I grew up with. That's what I feel it should be. But older folks, I feel like, and I'm not saying that he's older, I don't know anything about him. I just listened to the album. I feel like old people are good at that. They're very practical, and they always have weird things that they do, but the weird things that they do just aren't standard, but it works for them. They do things because they work. Um, what, giving you a little bit of bourbon when you have a toothache or something like that. They roll with it. Um, I always kind of wanted to be like that, and that's how it struck me when I pulled up across that album. I wish that we didn't have aesthetic prisons. Aesthetic prisons. Oh, that's the. I never know what I'm gonna do. Confined in an aesthetic prison. I think that's enough for today, folks. Yeah, so that's my artistic inspiration for you. Don't be confined in an aesthetic prison. Just when you're making something, when you're making a project, when you're working on it. I'm 22. I don't know why I'm trying to give advice. Um, I will say that I've found that for myself. Don't don't let just when you have to make something, when you have the artistic pull, and aesthetics have a lot to do with art, but don't let it be a prison. Don't let what you want to make be a prison to you. Or don't let aesthetics get in the way of art. It's art before it is an aesthetic. If you have any recommendations for me, any walls that you like, or any, yeah, if you have any recommendations, put them in the comment section below. I'm always looking for things to listen to. Of course, there's also always plenty for me to listen to, but I'm reviewing music. I'm recommending music as the thing, so you do it too. As noise fans, there's nobody at work or in your household that you can recommend noise to. It's not the same thing. Like it was hard to recommend music to people if when you like metal, but now that you're in a noise, you're like, listen, I know you don't like noise. Hear me out. This album, you're gonna understand it. And I've done that a few times with some of my musician friends and been like, this is a great noise album. Just you have to close your eyes and not think about anything else and practically like just almost fall asleep and pay a lot of attention to it. And they're like, no, I don't want to. There's no reason to. There is a older experimental artist that I want to. I don't remember who it is. I was into him at the same time as Walter Marchetti. But comment below your favorite 1970s and 80s noise and experimental artists because he was an electronic artist, but not a noise artist, but he's an electronic artist and everything was squeals. I was a big Giannis Xenakis guy, and he kind of had the same appeal as Giannis Xenakis to me, anyway. So, in there somewhere. Walter Marchetti's very traditional noise. I think Giannis Xenakis is a better guideline than him. So I'll pull it back. But Derek Higgins is a YouTuber that does that's the reason I do this and the way that I do it. Just turn the camera. I do a little bit of editing, but turn on the camera, talk about your favorite music. I have watched Derek Higgins, since I was in middle school. So that's the reason I do this the way that I do it. The reason I like doing this. The reason I like Magma and bands like that is because of him. Yeah, and he recommended some. He was lightly into noise. He's always been lightly into noise, and he said he said something I really like is he said, for those of you that don't like noise, I don't know what to tell you. You just don't like it. He said there's no if you're not able to listen to it and appreciate it, you're not able to listen to it or appreciate it. For people that listen to it and appreciate it, just do it. Just enjoy it. There's a very small amount of people that really like it, and there's the same amount of people probably that make it. There are people that don't. Yeah, what kind of bums me out and what I kind of don't like is people that make noise and don't like it. Don't listen to it. They just make it because they feel like they're getting something done. And that's a shame. You should listen to more than you make. You should always listen to more than you make. But there are probably the same amount of noise artists as noise listeners. So that's something that we will always have for ourselves. And I try to be more of a listener. And I broke down and made a couple things recently, but I try to be more of a noise listener than a noisemaker. Yeah, if you want some CDRs, go to Kubatu Asparagus. He's got you covered. Um, I obviously my work definitely has religious themes, and a lot of the Not of the Flesh stuff will. Victims de Regimes, his Haunting Humming, some of the Sado Ritual stuff, even if it's not classic. Pretty much all of his stuff has religious themes in some way. Same thing for me. Not everything. Contrite Heart is kind of my religious thing, but it, to some, it's just not as complicated. It's not that Ivan Reich releases aren't religious or spiritual. They very much are, and possibly even more. But Contrite Heart is just a simple expression, and something like Slavery, Man Hates God, Handwritten Letters, that's something that's like a story, right? It's a sentence. Contrite Heart releases are a sentence. Slavery is a whole book. I don't have an idea right now that has turned into that's going to go on to be a massive project that's going to take a lot of work. Like Slavery, I have a lot of songs that I've worked on. You noticed that I was releasing some kind of folky stuff, um, and musical stuff towards the end of the year. By the way, Happy New Year. Oh no, that was last episode. This is next week. It is New Year's Day right now. So at the end of 2025, I released some singles, and I was kind of working on putting an album together, but I don't see the vision. And I've had a lot of life experiences and emotional experiences recently, but I don't have a vision for an album that I'm working on right now, which is not normal for me. So that it makes a lot of sense for me to do some Contrite Heart stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's not to say that I don't have any emotion. I'm filled with it, and I've got stuff to release. I'm just trying to work though, you know? So anyway, I was trying to end this probably 10 minutes ago, and, and I talked a bunch more. Godspeed. Listen to good noise. Listen to Slavery. Much love.